Hello and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. Today we have Jess here with us, and she's a sleep child specialist. So, Jess, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, I'm Jess. I'm the child sleep specialist. My business name is Jess's Sleep Secrets, and I transform the lives of sleep-deprived parents through building trust, connection, and positivity with their child and building a really strong relationship with sleep. There's no cry out over here. We're focusing purely on making everything as positive and enjoyable as possible.
Okay, excellent. And so tell us, please, about this process. Yeah, let's say someone's got a child or a baby who is like crying a lot, and they cannot sleep. So what do you do in these situations?
So we always need to identify what that child is trying to communicate to us, to identify what they're looking for, what they're needing. Are they reliant on something? Are they searching for something so that we can support them in the best way? And we can actually identify what the main cause for their sleep battles are. So there is always a cause, there's always a reason. It's not just random. So lots of times we can kind of pin the blame on, okay, they must be teething or it's a regression or whatever this might be. But we need to dive deeper than that. Okay, so if it is a regression, normally a regression means that they're progressing in something else. So are they learning to sit up, crawl, stand, walk? Is their speech development coming on leaps and bounds? Those kind of things can have a physical impact on their sleep because their brain is trying to master and process that new skill. They want to practice it at the most inconvenient times, which is, of course, while we want them to sleep. And it's basically their brain really struggling to switch off and relax because they want to master that new skill. So, regressions, I like to prefer to call them as progressions because there's always an end goal, an end result of, okay, that now makes sense. They've now mastered that skill. That's why that little blip in sleep is happening. Or we need to look into things like, okay, so how they physically fall asleep at bedtime or for nap times, are you having to assist them? Is your support needed? Are you feeding them to at least drowsy or to fully asleep? Are you rocking them? Do you Can you only get them to fall asleep in the car and that's your only option? Is it through contact where you have to be in your bed rather than their bed? And all those kind of things we need to look at and go, okay, if they're expecting that pattern at the start of a sleep cycle, okay, so their journey to sleep, then when they wake in the middle of the night or when you try to transfer them to their cot, then the chances are they're going to wake up and need that process to be repeated again because their environment has changed. So their body is used to and craving and relying on that pattern, that process to be repeated. So our children's brains are really intelligent at identifying patterns really quickly and really easily. So that's why bad habits can creep in really easily because as soon as it happens a couple of times in a row, the brain recognizes it and goes, okay, I can see this pattern. I understand what I'm looking for now. If I'm expecting a feed every single time I wake up, and that's the only way I can go back off to sleep. That's really simple, really quick, really easy for them to settle. But you're stuck in this cycle where every single sleep cycle, they're waking up and they're relying on you to do the full job for them. So, what I teach is identifying what it is that they're reliant on. And then we go, okay, so now we want to try to build the confidence and the trust between you and your baby to make sure that they're feeling comfortable enough, settled enough, safe enough to be able to make an adjustment to what they're currently fixated on and make really tiny, subtle changes to build them up to more independent settling so that when they wake in the middle of the night and they don't need your help to fall asleep at the start of bedtime, in the middle of the night, they can wake up and go, okay, I know how to fall back to sleep. That's easy. And we replace that quick fix and easy option to resettle, which before was heavily reliant on you. We replace it with their independence and they know how to do that. And one of my biggest things is we never ever have to leave their side. We never have to leave them to cry and figure it out for themselves. They're children. They need us to reassure them. They need our guidance and they put their full trust and faith in us. So we, of course, need to give them a gentle guiding hand and nudge them in the right direction and actually show them what they need to do and how to do it in the best way and keeping our cool. So a lot of what I teach is actually teaching the parent rather than teaching the child. It's your responses, it's how you stay calm, it's how you identify what they're actually communicating to you in that moment so that you can respond accordingly. Sometimes we jump the gun, we assume what they need, and then we haven't actually listened to what they're trying to communicate to us. So that's where you can fall into these bits of cycles. So I'm there to slow things down and simplify absolutely everything for you to show you how to get to that end goal realistically.
Totally. And tell us, please, how did you end up doing what you do, and also how long have you been doing it for?
Yeah, sure. So my firstborn was an awful sleeper. So I we were in the middle of lockdown. Okay. So this is a classic case of I was in the house pulling my hair out, didn't know where to turn. I had no support from outside because we couldn't go out anywhere or do anything. And my 6 month old just would not sleep. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And I was adamant, absolutely adamant. I didn't want to go down the traditional sleep training methods where it had to be leaving him to cry. So I did a hell of a lot of research and I tried a lot of things myself and figured out patterns that was making things easier. And I basically managed to sort his sleep out myself after a lot of hard work, and then started to help friends and family, and it kept working. So I decided we were in the middle of lockdown. I was on furlough. So I said, right, okay, I'm going to retrain. I'm going to get my qualifications. I'm going to set up this business and just see what happens. And 5 years later, we're still here and it's my only job now. And yeah, I could resign from my previous job, which was in marketing, very bog standard, very boring, didn't give me any kind of exciting lease of life. And I thought, okay, I can see this working. And I've absolutely loved every second of it because the transformations I get to see and those kind of relationships I get to build with my clients are just brilliant. So yeah, that's kind of how it all spiraled.
Great. And yeah, it sounds fantastic. So, if someone wants to actually find out a little bit more about you, connect to you, or yeah, learn more about what you do, how they can do that?
So, Facebook and Instagram are where I'm most visible. My handle is jess.sleep.secrets.
Mhm.
And on there, I've got free guides to download. I've got a free video, welcome video for you to watch, which gives you a real good overview about how I work and why I can guarantee to get the results that you're looking for, and to reassure you that it doesn't involve any controlled crying. And yeah, you can just send me a message. I'm always open to having a chat with you, answer your questions, and make sure that you're feeling seen and heard because I know that you're exhausted. I know it's a really, really tough stage to be at. I've been there myself, I've done it twice. And, working with families over the last 5 years have been amazing. So it'd be lovely to speak to anyone who just needs that little bit of reassurance and a bit of advice.
Definitely. And you also mentioned you guarantee what you do. So, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so basically, no one's a lost cause. There is always a reason for unsettled sleep, and there's always something that we can do to help. So, everyone's end goal is different. Most people say, okay, I want my child to fall asleep completely independently without my help, and for them to be able to sleep through the night. So I work with families with that in mind, and we identify absolutely everything that could be possibly having an impact on things. And my guidance and support is there for life. Once you're a client of mine, you're a client for life. I have clients that have had multiple children since working with me the first time, and they're still within my membership and just wanting to check in every now and then, going, okay, we've hit this big new development stage, or I just want to check I'm doing this in the right way. And just providing everyone with that continued support and guidance is so important. I think everyone everyone has the ability to achieve that end goal. And the reason why I say that I can guarantee it is because 99% of people that fail using sleep training programs or things like that they purchase online is they don't have the support there. They don't have the person analyzing absolutely every detail and going, right, okay, well, have you done this? Show me, tell me what you're seeing. Let's look at the patterns. Because if you don't have that support network around you and you don't have that expert keeping their eyes on absolutely everything, you will struggle. Yes, people can make incredible progress on their own, but it's really tough. And when you're already sleep deprived and you're questioning everything, because we do as parents, we question absolutely every decision we ever make for our children. So having somebody who is external that can just look at it for what it is and look at the actual patterns that isn't emotionally connected to your child specifically, make sure that you can actually achieve that end goal because we're looking at the facts rather than that emotion getting involved too much. And everyone's journey is ever like completely different. And we're trying to focus on every child's individual needs, their personality, their temperament, and everything like that. That's what we want to focus on. So everyone will achieve that end goal with that support.
Great. Jess, thank you so much for being a guest. If anyone wants to actually check out links to Jess, they'll be in the description of this episode. If you like this episode, drop us a like, subscribe, and also if you have any questions for Jess or me, you can ask them in the comments. Jess, thanks again for being a guest.
You, thank you.